Hola chicos, today I'm going to help you through this quiz called Más Práctica con los Artículos. So it's always nice to first start off by reading the instructions. So it says choose the appropriate article. Remember, all nouns in Spanish must agree in gender and number. So that's that singular and plural and feminine and masculine. So if you take a look, here's my ejemplo, my example, or my modelo, my model. Okay, I tell you in English that I want you to say the, and you need to choose which the would go with bufanda. Okay, so what you would first do is you first figure out, okay, what chart am I going to use? So we learned that these are definite articles over here, and these ones down here are the indefinite articles. The definite articles all mean the, so el, la, los, and las all mean the. So we know right now we need to say the word the. So this will be the chart that we are going to look at for this first one. But now there's 4 ways to say the. How do we know which one is going to go with bufanda? Well, so first thing you need to figure out is this word singular or plural? A word is plural if it ends in an S. So does bufanda end in an S? No. So that means it would be singular. So now we know that it's either going to be el or la. So the second thing we need to do is look at bufanda and figure out, well, is it feminine or masculine? We figure out if it's feminine or masculine by looking at the ending. This word ends in an A, which is typically going to be feminine. So we know that this word is feminine and singular. So if we look at our chart, the feminine singular way to say the is going to be la. Down here we have some. So now we want to say some zapatos. So we cannot use this top chart because this top chart is all about the. So we know that we are going to use this bottom chart to figure out how we would say some zapatos. So some is a big hint there. It's telling you that this word is already plural. So not only do you know it's plural because it says some, but we also know it's plural because it ends in an S. So since this word is plural, we also need to figure out if it is feminine or masculine. Okay, so I'm going to pause. Anyways, what I was saying is you need to figure out now, is this word feminine or masculine? So we decided, yep, it is plural. But now, how do we know if it's feminine or masculine? Well, we ignore the S and we look at what it ends with. It ends in an O. An O is typically masculine. So this word would be masculine and plural. So using our AN or some chart, we're going to look at the masculine plural way of saying some, and that would be unos, which is how I got unos. Okay, let's do number 1 together. So number 1, it says a sudadera. So a sudadera would mean we would use this chart right here again because we want to say a. And then we need to figure out, okay, is this word singular or plural? Well, a is singular and there's no S at the end. So we know that this word is singular and it ends in an A, which would make it feminine. So the feminine singular way of saying a is going to be una. And you can see I already had that marked down there for you. Okay, the next one is the bolsas we want to do. So that's your first clue. You are going to use your the chart. So we are not using this one down here at all, but the one up top. So it's either going to be el, la, los, or las. The word then was bolsas. So we need to figure out, is this word singular or plural? It does end in an S, which would make this word plural. Secondly, if we ignore the S, we see that it ends in an A, and an A is feminine. So the feminine plural way of saying the would be las. Okay, I'm going to let you do these other multiple choice ones by yourself, but I am going to help you with the bottom really quickly. So when we get to question 9, there's a change in rules. It says translate these short phrases into Spanish. Pay attention to definite versus indefinite articles and be sure to spell the word correctly. So this is going to be a scarf. So what I would like you to do first is take a look at how do we say scarf in Spanish. If you go in your notes and you look at the word scarf, it is going to show you la bufanda. However, la bufanda is not how we say a scarf. Because if we go up to the chart, what does la mean? La means the. So instead of saying the scarf, we need to change it to say a scarf. So if it's normally la, a feminine and singular word, all you need to do is, what is the feminine singular way of saying a? So instead of saying la bufanda, you are going to change it to say una bufanda. Now instead of saying the scarf, you're saying a scarf. Here you're saying some socks. So again, look in your notes. How do you say socks? But then be careful that you are using some. Sometimes what people like to do is they'll put both of these words up here. So, for example, they'll put unos and los. You can't use both of them. You are either going to use unos or los. So pay attention. If you are wanting to say the, you would use these words. If you want to say some, you will use these words. I hope this helps a little bit. I know some tricky ones definitely are on the bottom. Like a lot of people forget that this has the skirts with an S at the end, so you have to make it plural. And when you make skirts plural, you also have to make the plural. So what do you mean when I say make the plural? Well, that means if it's normally L and you need to make it plural, it would become los. If it's la and you need to make la plural, it would become las. See how we are switching from singular to plural right here? Let me know if you have questions on here. I would be happy to help you. Thanks for watching, or listening, I should say. Adios.